The 2024 quarterback class is a special one. You have your top guys like Caleb Williams and Drake May. Then there's the intriguing ones, Shedeur Sanders, Michael Penix. But one of the most interesting and kind of odd prospects is Sam Hartman, a 24-year-old in his 6th year of college football. Hartman is at Notre Dame, but before that, he showed a lot of talent at Wake Forest. He's older, but he's experienced, and he has the tools that could translate to the pros. But first, thank you to DraftKings for sponsoring today's video. NFL fans, this season is starting to heat up with big plays and even bigger winnings. This video is sponsored by DraftKings Sportsbook, an official partner of the NFL, and I'm here to bring you an exciting offer. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now and use our code JDPROD. And that's right, new customers bet just $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Whether you're a Saturday college football guy or a diehard NFL fan, they have the options for you. DraftKings customers can also get in on the action with same game parlays where you can combine bets from the same game for an even bigger payout. If you're already signed up for DraftKings like me, you can get a no sweat bet every game day through September. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use promo code JDPROD. Bet just $5 on any wager and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code JDPROD only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Sam Hartman looked really good through Notre Dame's first 4 games. The Fighting Irish went 4-0 over the span as Hartman passed for 1,000 yards and 13 touchdowns and rushed for 2 touchdowns without throwing a single interception. He didn't have to wait very long to be on the big stage. Notre Dame played Navy in Ireland in week 0, and they blew him out 42-3 as Hartman threw 4 touchdowns. Now, the first 4 games weren't against very tough competition. Only one of them was against a Power 5 team, NC State. The Irish won 45-24, and Hartman had another 4-touchdown game. The other 2 games were a 56-3 win over Tennessee State and a 41-17 dub against Central Michigan. After 4 games and technically 3 weeks of college football, Notre Dame was 4-0 and number 9 in the AP poll, but then it was finally time for Sam Hartman and Notre Dame to actually have a challenge. A game against number 6 Ohio State, huge test obviously, and the rest of this season is pretty difficult for the Irish. They play number 18 Duke to close out September, then in October, Louisville, number 5 USC, Pitt, Clemson, Wake Forest, and Stanford. Those big games are going to give Hartman a chance to build his draft stock, so he needs to perform well. He's already 24. That's a huge knock on him already, but that experience should help him lead Notre Dame to a good season the same way he did at Wake Forest with a lot less talent. Sam Hartman was in Winston-Salem for 5 seasons. He decided to transfer for his last year of eligibility. He was considered a 4-star transfer and was tied as the best quarterback with Devin Leary, another ACC guy that was at NC State and transferred to Kentucky. To say that Sam Hartman had success at Wake would be an understatement. He became the ACC all-time leader in touchdown passes and 300-yard passing games. On top of that, he owns a ton of program records too. Now, most of that just came in his final 2 seasons with the Demon Deacons. 2021 was his best season at Wake. He threw for 4,200 yards, 39 touchdowns, and 14 interceptions, but he also had a really big role on the ground with 11 touchdowns. He had 6 touchdowns rushing combined in his other 4 years at Wake. What really made that season so special, though, was the team success. Wake had their best year since 2006. They jumped out to an 8-0 start. They did lose in the ACC championship to that really good Kenny Pickett Pitt team, but finished 11-3 overall and won the Gator Bowl over Rutgers. Now, there wasn't as much team success in 2022. They won a bowl game. They went 8-5, but the expectations were so much higher. Late October, they were ranked number 10 in the country, and then they lost 3 straight and 4 of 5 to end the year. It just completely fell apart. Hartman did have another good season, though. He He threw for 3,700 yards, 38 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. The big difference in Hartman's game was the lack of rushing. He had just one rushing touchdown all season. Those last 2 seasons of Hartman at Wake Forest were really good, and he's going to go down as one of the program's greats. He was the guy from the moment he got to Winston-Salem. He committed to Wake after he was a 3-star coming out of high school in South Carolina. He ended up winning the starting quarterback job in camp and had a really good start to his true freshman year. Through 3 games, he led all freshmen in the country in yards of offense and had 2 or more passing touchdowns in each game. In 9 games played, Wake Forest went 4 of 5 as Hartman passed for 2,000 yards, 16 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. Unfortunately, he ended up getting hurt, and that ended his year. Obviously, Sam Hartman is now in year 6 of college football. So how did that actually happen? Well, that takes us to 2019 and 2020. Hartman actually lost the starting job in camp in 2019 to Jamie Newman. He saw some play time, passed for 800 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, but it was only 4 games, so he was able to redshirt. So there's one of his extra eligibility seasons. Then 2020 was the COVID year. He became the Wake Forest starter again, and he was solid. It was only a total of 9 games because of the pandemic. He ended up throwing for 2,200 yards, 13 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. But that year essentially didn't count because all players got that extra season of eligibility. I actually got to see Hartman play that 2020 season at Wake. It was actually Hendon Hooker against Sam Hartman, and Wake Forest beat Virginia Tech 23-16 at Wake. I will say Wake's a very underwhelming place, but they are the smallest ACC school. Hartman really didn't do too much in the game, but I did get to see him rush for a touchdown. Sam Hartman pretty much needs to have a good season. If he has a down year, I don't even know that he gets drafted. Now, you remember all those Kenny Pickett jokes and how he was old as a rookie? Hartman's going to be a year older as a rookie, 25. So Hartman has to really prove himself. If he can stay in that Heisman race and even potentially win it, that'd obviously be ideal. He's going to have some big games in the spotlight to prove himself to scouts. The biggest of the year has to be USC mid-October. He gets to duel with Caleb Williams in prime time. Then outside of Ohio State and USC, the only other ranked games they're going to end up with probably is Duke next week and then maybe UNC in November. That's, again, another huge deal because you get to see him duel with Drake May. Getting to see Sam Hartman versus the true top guys in the 2024 class should be pretty telling. Sam Hartman looks like he has the arm to make any NFL throw. He has enough strength, he can thread the needle, and he can really go anywhere he wants on the field. If there is a big point of his game that has to be cleaned up, it's pretty much just extending plays. He's fully capable of using his legs and does it a lot, probably too much. He kind of reminds me of Sam Howell was last year at UNC. He'll stop looking downfield or just lose vision, which has to improve if he ever does want to start in the pros. I think a team drafting him is looking at a high-end backup, and you can just see how else he develops, but being 25 as a rookie is rough. That's the same age as Justin Herbert and Tua Tagovailoa are now, who are year 4 in the league. Still, you look at a guy like Hendon Hooker, who is a 25-year-old rookie and went in the 3rd round, Stetson Bennett, 25. So there is some hope. Sam Hartman just needs to look really good this season, and I think he will. Sam Hartman's playing with some really amazing talent around him at Notre Dame. I'd say most of the offensive weapons are good, and they should continue to get better this season, but all the hype goes to the offensive line. By far the best player on Notre Dame's roster is Joe Alt. He's a tackle, and he's going to be a first rounder in the 2024 draft. Alt was a first-team All-American a year ago, and he is dominant. Then the second best dude in South Bend is probably another tackle, Blake Fisher. He's a junior. He's probably going to be like a day 2 pick, if I had to guess. Lastly, I at least want to bring up Audric Estime at running back. He had 521 yards and 5 touchdowns in the Irish first 5 games. He was amazing last year as a sophomore as a starter for the first time after Kyron Williams was drafted. So I think he could be really good at the next level. Sam Hartman obviously has some dudes around him. This is his chance to prove that he belongs in the NFL. Notre Dame has a good roster, and Hartman has the tools. Now it's up to how he can play, because that's really going to decide if and where he goes at the 2024 NFL Draft.